GPT-5 is coming, and we've got some insane news coming out about it in the past 24 to 48 hours. Watch the video from start to finish to not miss out on any information. So, ChatGPT is expected to launch GPT-5 inside August. This model is a completely different model from the past. They are combining reasoning and non-reasoning models inside one model. The latest news show that they are going to actually release 3 versions of it: GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini, and GPT-5 Nano. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has already been teasing that GPT-5 is going to be insane. He says that he wants everybody to access it completely for free, and paid tiers will just get higher intelligence. Recently, on a podcast with Theo Von, he said that GPT-5 gave him an answer that shocked him for a minute. And in general, he describes this model as something that is going to be like pre-AGI stuff. It will make you feel like AGI is coming. But this is not all, there's something bigger than that. That has been happening in the past 24 hours. On the LMArena, which is a website where you can use multiple models completely for free, in a battle mode, you are going to be able to compare models. So this site gives you free access to the models and you vote which answer you prefer between the two. So 5-6 mysterious models have spun up on LMArena. They're called Zenith, Summit, Lobster, Nectarine, Starfish, and O3 Alpha. And all of these are supposed to come from GPT-5. People say that Zenith, Lobster, and O3 Alpha are top tier models in terms of coding, as LMArena is doing mostly coding tasks. And one of them is supposed to be GPT-5. This also has happened in the past, as OpenAI has released access under a mysterious name, like Cursor Alpha, that was found on OpenRouter. So other people say that Starfish is better than Nectarine and better than O3 Alpha and Lobster. And here a lot of people are posting like the responses that they have got from these models. And now the guy says that it's completely the inverse. But what we're going to see today is some examples and some results that are posted on the web. Again, take all of these results with a grain of salt. Some of them may be true, some of them may not be true. So, for example, Summit has responded to this kind of game creation that allows you to see how the controller looks, adjust the controller, or whatever. So this is super interesting, as different people with their tests say quite the same things, which is super interesting. Of course, you can also try this yourself by going to LMArena.ai battle mode and start putting up requests. So let me show you how you can do it before we continue with the other results. I'm going to show you actual responses from these models. So let's say that we want to create a SVG that shows a Ferrari black car. So that's what happens. You post the prompt, the request, and 2 models that are anonymous for now will try to respond to what you asked. You wait for the response to happen, you can see the request responses from each model, and then you can say which one of the 2 you prefer. So for example, I would say here that the model on the right is the better, and after you do that, you are able to see the name of each model. So security verification, oh my god, I really hate this when it happens. And we can see here, Claude for Sonnet, Kraken. I have no idea what Kraken is. So you can go ahead and ask a follow-up, SVG of a police car. Okay, so then 2 other assistants are going to run your request. And again, you can compare their answers and vote which one you prefer. So you should be doing that if you really want to test out all of these models and find them. You would probably have to put up hundreds of requests to check out the responses from all of the hidden mysterious models. While we wait for the response, GPT-5 is Project Zenith, as David says, and it starts to appear on all 3 requests in ChatGPT. Of course, we don't know if this is true, but there is talk about that, stealthily routing all 3 requests to GPT-5, which is super interesting. And that also US companies have got access for GPT-5. Also, Microsoft has already spun up like a response or a text box where you can select GPT-5 inside GitHub Copilot. So this is actually very interesting. And in terms of responses here, this guy shows us GPT 4.1 versus Nectarine. So this is medium intelligence, and we can already see that the response is very nice, looks very nice. Like, this website looks a lot better than GPT 4.1, which in general is a good coding model. Of course, not state of the art, but a good non-thinking coding model. This guy, for example, has compared the response from suppose GPT-5, we don't know which exact version, versus Grok 4. So he used the exactly same prompt, the responses from the Lobster model, and we can see here the difference in responses. This is from the OpenAI model, this is pretty incredible, and this is from Grok 4 Heavy, so you know the difference is, it's quite severe, it's quite huge. Moving forwards, this is a response from Starfish, which is a Pac-Man game. And here again, we can vote for which one we like. I would just say right is better, just to check what happens here. Again, security verification. They do it probably to avoid bots, and it's quite extensive. And we got Summit. So we can actually compare Summit versus GPT 4.1. So maybe we should try it out. SVG viewer, let's see. So already you've seen that we actually hit one of these mysterious models. And we can also compare it with a previous GPT model, which is interesting. So let's copy the first SVG, which is from Summit. So this is the police car that Summit gave us. It's a good SVG, gotta say. And this one is from GPT 4.1. So let me remove these arguments here. And the difference is quite profound, at least from what I see. So this is pretty interesting. My response was actually wrong. So yep. Just make sure to vote correctly because you don't want to mess up their benchmarks. This was made with Starfish and Lobster was not working, so probably Starfish version is better than Lobster. And yeah, this is black hole mathematics or whatever. Pretty interesting. Loads of people in Twitter are posting the results and it's beautiful to see. Just go ahead and search about it and see the responses. It's really interesting what is happening in the past 24 hours. So this is Starfish creating a small game. So let's test it out. Let's see what this guy has done. That looks fine, I guess. These stuff are not ready for games. And probably this is a one-shot prompt request. This is Starfish creating an SVG controller application. Pretty interesting. That's really interesting. And this is a comparison between Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview versus Starfish. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's move on to another example, which is about O3 Alpha. I think O3 Alpha is going to be like a dedicated coding model. Maybe it's the open source model that they want to open source. Who knows? But yeah, let's see some responses. So O3 Alpha is on the left and Starfish is on the right. And we can see, I think, that Starfish is doing a good job while being a little bit worse. The left one looks better. Here we can see exactly the same, thing. And here we can see O3 Alpha versus Nectarine. So a lot of people have been testing it out. I think this is super interesting to see. Of course, you can never trust these guys. Zenith is supposed also to be one of the best models out there, and this is a pretty insane SVG. I think we're going to be, solving image creation and generation and designing with these kind of models. So this is a waveform player. It's created by the Lobster model. So they're very happy with it, but it's like the cheapest version, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the Summit model. This is a crypto tracker created with it. So the results are pretty awesome. Like, these people say that the model is actually good and it can give us a sense of how good GPT-5 is going to be, which I find super interesting. Let me know what you think about it. Make sure to subscribe for more AI videos and I will see you on the next video. Bye.